Hello guys, welcome to Captain Dorja's Armory. This is Captain Dorja. We're going to be taking a look at a replay today of the British Tier 7 heavy tank, the Black Prince. But since I sold my Black Prince, we can't look at it in the garage. So we've got the Carnarvon adorning the garage right here for you now, which is of course the Tier 8 British Heavy, which comes after the Black Prince. Now a quick word about the Black Prince. The tank features pretty bad mobility overall, but to compensate for that, it has strong frontal armor, and a pretty good gun. It's got high damage per minute, pretty high penetration. The accuracy is good, the aiming time is fast, but the alpha damage is low. So if you need to really exploit the damage per minute of the Black Prince, or else you're not going to really do any damage to the enemy. And you have to try and utilize your armor, but sometimes that can be tough. Anyway, though, enough about that. Before we get on with the actual battle, I do have to kind of share some, good news, bad news. Good news for me, bad news for me, I guess. I have been really looking forward to doing some projects for my YouTube channel, and I just said that I was about to put out the mouse review thing that I talked about, and the armor tank class video that I wanted to do, which has been held up for a really long time. But what's happened is that today I found out that I'm going to sea on Monday. Monday is tomorrow. So pretty short notice, and I have a ton of stuff to do tomorrow. I gotta, pack, clean my apartment, get my car taken care of while I'm gone. I've got to, go to the bank. I've got to get a haircut. I've got to do all this stuff. I've got to go do a bunch of paperwork at the Union Hall. So tomorrow's going to be a busy day, and I just don't have enough time to do those two videos in particular. They'll take a really long time to make them. I have a bunch of footage for the mouse, and I have a lot of stuff for the armor tank class, but I just don't have the time right now to finish, and I'm going to be gone for 70 days, so it's going to be 10 weeks at sea. Now, the good news on this is that I needed a job, and I got one, and it's a good one. The guy on the ship right now, he told me that it's about the most money I can expect to make as a third mate, and it's one of the easier ships to be third mate on, so that's definitely nice. And hopefully we can set things up so that I'll get on the ship for 70 days, and then when he comes back, he'll get on for 70 more, and then when he gets off the second time, I'll get back on, and then I'll take 70 days off and get back on again for 70 more days. So if this works out, I'm going to be on the ship for 10 weeks, off the ship for 10 weeks, back on the ship for 10 weeks, back off the ship for 10 weeks, back on the ship for 10 weeks. So I might basically be on and off this ship for the next year in 2.5 month long blocks. So that kind of a little bit unfortunate, but I mean, it's good money, and I need to work, and it's the life I've chosen as a merchant mariner. So that's, it is what it is. But anyway, guys, if you are at all interested, we're gonna go now into the Black Prince video, and this was a pretty fun battle that I played in the Black Prince. I played this battle a long time ago, but it was a good one, and I just kept forgetting why I'd even saved this replay. Then I looked at it right now and was like, oh yeah, that was a good battle. So let's cut to the Black Prince on Serene Coast, and let's see what this tin can do. Alright, so we're loading into battle in the Black Prince. This is a very Tier 8 battle. The enemy team have 2 AMX 5100s, 2 IS-3s, 2 IS-6s, 2 T-34s, 2 Pershings, and a GW Tiger P, as well as 3 Tier 7 heavies and a Tier 6 heavy. Our team, we got a little bit of a advantageous matchmaker. We have more Tier 8s than the enemy team, and we have no Tier 6s, and we have a couple of players that are pretty good, so that's definitely nice. Now we're on Serene Coast, which is a map that I don't particularly care for, and it is a map where what to do with a tank like a Black Prince can be sort of challenging, because the tank's really slow, so you're not going to be able to rush into any advanced positions, stuff like that. you've got strong armor that can be pretty troll, but it's not without its weak points, most notably all the flat points on the front, and the side armor is terrible. So you have to be fairly conservative to stay alive. But you also have to, you know, work the damage per minute with this gun because it's not an alpha damage gun. You need to fire a lot of shots on target or else you're not going to get any damage done. So in this battle I end up taking on the role of just kind of the harasser tank. And it actually works out pretty good. I don't normally come down here because I feel like it's a sideshow and the main battle's up in the B3 area and more towards the middle of the map. But we had a lot of tanks going down to that island, and I was going to be wasted down there with all them there. I was going to be the last person in line, you know, all that. So moved up here. We put a shot into the AMX 5100, just trying to get shots where we can with this gun. Now it is pretty accurate and it is pretty quick aiming, but again, the alpha damage is really low. We're trying to draw attention to the middle of the map here where the enemy IS-3 is just hard charging. But it doesn't really look like many of our teammates are going to intervene. And if I go out there and try to fight that IS-3 in a one-on-one, he'll pen me frontally very easily, and I'll just get smoked by all of his, you know, teammates that are in the center of the map. So I'm just kind of staying here where I am, trying to just sort of alert people to his presence and put shots in when I can. So I have shots on the 5100, putting this gun to work, but we converge so much fire on him that I only get a chance to fire 2. Now right here, I didn't actually notice that there was a huge indestructible building between us. I thought there was a row of indestructible houses, and I was actually trying to shoot away this guy's cover. Yes, pretty noobish, and I realize how stupid I look now, but once I realized that I was shooting at an indestructible building, I go for a bit of repositioning to try and support this rapidly crumbling flank. Now, this IS-3 is about to just YOLO me, and that's actually kind of good, because if he YOLOs me back where I am right here, I'm going to be getting a lot of fire support, and he's going to be getting none. So he'll be isolating himself and very much in harm's way, so I'm totally okay with this. He fires and misses. I back up, trying to lure him farther in. You can see those hits he's taken from my teammates over there. And now he comes through the wall, puts a big hit into us. Luckily for me, the Black Prince is actually able to penetrate the front hull of the IS-3, although not 100% reliable. I try to angle against him, but with that 225mm pen, he just brutalizes me. But with my 171 pen at that close range, shooting down, and with him angling where he should have been staying straight on to me, I'm able to get through his upper plate as well. So, whew, killed the IS-3. We lost a lot of health doing it though, but now we have an excellent opportunity to do flank harassment, which is really one thing that this tank is really good at. If you can get it in a position like this, it becomes devastating. So we knock out the second enemy IS-3, and now we're going to move up and try and get shots on this T-34. T-34 is a really dangerous tank, and he's really vulnerable from the side. So hopefully I can close in and put the DPM of this gun to good use. There's the T-34. He's looking the other way. Put one into him. Moving in, moving in, moving in. He puts a shot straight through me, and I bounce off his upper plate. And he's in cover. But he's not in cover as much as he thinks, so we put a shot through his weak frontal plate. And a friendly 110 kills him. Now sniper shots at the T-34 on the hill. Bouncing at the long range. But we are able to penetrate. Now we see the flank of the IS, much better target. And you can see that with our strong armor at that range, the IS just doesn't have the pen to get through. So I'm pretty safe just sitting here shooting at this IS. We put 2 good shots into him. Unfortunately, our third one misses. We are firing at very long range here. And again, With my tank on such low HP and with quite strong enemy opposition, I want to try and get a harassment position to just sort of shoot into these guys from behind and in the side. So we're going to come up onto the rail embankment here where they're not expecting it and try to just put a couple of hits in and then take cover. So we have the side of the enemy Black Prince. We miss from the bouncing of our tank as we crest. I was going for a D-track shot on him, but missed. Enemy Black Prince puts one through our hull, so it's time to back up. We only have 51 health left. But we're drawing the attention of those two guys, so that's definitely good. Black Prince looks like he's coming after us. See that T-34 taking a lot of hits. Pretty worried about the GW Tiger P right now. I know he's going to be looking to put some damage out on anything that he can, and even though I'm only on 51 health, there's a pretty good chance that if he can, he'll shoot me, get a gun off the field, and an easy kill. We all know artillery and every other player in the game likes going for easy kills. So, alright, we come over the hill looking for the T-34. He's behind cover. We bounce off the enemy T-34. He starts backing up. We now have the flank of the IS though. Put a shot into the IS. They're both looking. The IS bounces off me again. Light the IS on fire. And he burns to death. Continuing to harass the T-34. Really worried about the GW Tiger P at this point. But there's not really a lot I can do about it. I just need to keep harassing until he finishes me off, which he inevitably does. But our team has knocked out the enemy T-34, and it's just an IS-6 and a GW Tiger P left. And at this point, I spend the whole time looking at my wreck as our team wins the battle. So we're just going to cut to post-game results. Right, post-battle results. So that was definitely a win, and it was my double, so 3,816 experience, which is not too bad, and 47,418 credits, which again, not too bad. Litany Destruction, it's not super impressive, but it's not too bad for a Black Prince fighting almost all tier 8s. Now, it could have been worse, could have been fighting a lot of tier 9s, but, you know, it is what it is. So we got minuscule amounts of assistance damage for that battle, and we did a couple of critical hits. But really what we did was we put actually tongue-tied. We actually put a surprising amount of damage out onto these enemy tanks. Considering we were only shooting most of these guys 1 or 2 times with something like 150 average damage per shot, we managed to do a lot of damage, 2,732, which is actually second in the match, or second on the team, and third overall in the match. So that's a really good result with the Black Prince, especially with some of the tanks in this battle. There were some real damage dealers in that battle. AMX 5100s, there were 4 AMX 5100s. The enemy had IS-6s, we had a bunch of IS-6s, we had 110s. You know, those are tanks that lay down some serious DPM, but we were able to just kind of dork around in the middle and be left relatively alone and just sort of harass the enemy from the sides and rear, which is definitely not what you normally see a Black Prince is doing because it's so slow, but they left themselves really, really open, and we were looking for an opportunity to just do anything, and we took it. So we got 3 kills, 2732 damage, and 1,272 unmodified experience. Just not too bad. You can see here, you know, high rate of fire on this gun. We fired 29 shots. We fired quite a few that were pretty long range, and we did shoot that building that I thought was destructible like 4 times. But we still managed to hit 22 shots. And of those 22, 17 went in, which is not too bad. Good damage. We received 7 hits, 5 of them penetrated, which is actually to be expected. This tank has pretty strong armor, but I was getting shot at close range by IS-3s and T-34s, and those are just not the sort of thing that you can expect to bounce with this tank unless you're side scraping, which we were not. But yeah, still, we did take a lot of potential damage, although most of that's going to be from the GW Tiger P shell he shot an entire shell at us and only did 51 damage. But whatever, it is what it is. Good profit, 31,000, and pretty healthy experience. So, I mean, not exactly your stereotypical Black Prince game where you would expect to do something like take a corner and side scrape until the end of time, but nonetheless a good one, and it was a battle that I felt good about, and that's kind of an unusual role of a Black Prince, being sort of a flank harasser, but it was definitely fun. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoy, all the time I spend playing World of Tanks, and I do enjoy doing this as well. And even though it's going to be a long time until you see me again, just remember that until next time, you can never have enough big guns.